Russian troops have stepped up their offensive along the eastern front of the war in Ukraine as Kyiv prepares to mark the somber first anniversary of the invasion. According to a General Staff update, Russia launched offensives near Kupiansk, in the eastern Kharkiv region, and Luhansk and Donetsk oblasts, all places where Russian troops have concentrated their attacks. The increased Russian offensive in the east, along a 600-mile front stretching from the Kharkiv region down through the Donbass into the Russian-occupied south, comes amid Ukrainian fears that at the very least, the Russians will be marking the first year of fighting. Ukrainian officials pointed to what they believe to be recent attempts by Russian aerial reconnaissance vehicles to identify the locations of Ukrainian air defenses. They believe the attempt may be the start of another mass rocket attack. Such attacks had been occurring since early autumn, though with diminishing effect. Soldiers of the Ukrainian Armed Forces damaged a tank and armored fighting vehicle of the Russian invaders with a barrage of ammunition and inflicted several blows on their infantry. Blogger Serhiy Sternenko announced this on his Telegram channel, which published a relevant video edited from footage taken by a kamikaze drone operator and a regular quadcopter controller. Of course, small FPV drones can't destroy tanks, but damaging them is a significant success. Serhiy Sternenko explains. Keep in mind that even a damaged tank is very good. It is disabled, go for repairs. The enemy must find a new position. The armor is many times thinner than that of a tank, so the damage is even greater. Serhiy Sternenko asked Ukraine to donate funds for the purchase of a new FPV drone. The Battle of Bakhmut was approaching a tipping point, with Russia throwing a fresh troop wave into the fray as it tried to break Ukraine's hold on the eastern city and secure its first significant battlefield victory since early summer. After 8 months of heavy fighting, Russian forces are pressing the city from 3 directions, leaving Ukraine's main supply lines under heavy pressure and Ukraine facing a painful choice at the cost of defending its territory. Russia's Wagner group claims to have taken full control of the Ukrainian village of Berkivka on the outskirts of Bakhmut. Wagner founder Yevgeny Prigozhin said on Friday, "Berkivka is completely under our control. The Wagner private military company unit is in full control of Berkivka," he said in a post on social media. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, meanwhile, vowed to push for victory in 2023 when he and other Ukrainians on Friday marked the first anniversary of Russia's invasion in what he called the longest day of our lives. Meanwhile, Russia said its troops had been battling Ukrainian troops who had come to a standstill in the south of the country and inflicted significant losses. Russian troops defended their positions during the fierce battle in the Kherson region, and Ukrainian troops were also targeted in the eastern region of Donetsk, the Russian Defense Ministry said. The enemy made an attempt to break through the defenses of the Russian troops in the Koshara and Pyatikaki regions of the Kherson region with troops of up to 3 battalions, including a tank battalion, said Defense Ministry Chief Spokesman Igor Konashenkov. Units of the Russian army defended their positions in heavy fighting, inflicting significant losses on the enemy, he said. Russian troops targeted more than 30 towns and villages across Ukraine, launching 5 missiles and 23 airstrikes and up to 60 rocket attacks, said the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Fighting was especially intense in the eastern provinces of Donetsk and Luhansk and the strategically important Kherson province. They are 3 of the 4 provinces that Russian President Vladimir Putin proclaimed part of Russia last month. Russia claims to have killed up to 240 Ukrainian soldiers in the eastern Donetsk region in the last 24 hours. The country's defense ministry said its forces were continuing to strike along the region's front lines as part of a special military operation. It added that units of Russia's Southern Forces Group launched a comprehensive fire strike against the Ukrainian troops and their equipment. Recent weeks have seen Russia step up infantry attacks across the frozen ground in what both sides have described as the bloodiest of the war. Yesterday, Ukraine said its troops had repelled a Russian attack along the front. Ukrainian troops still control the northern and western parts of the city. Pro-Russian separatist forces continue to advance east and south of Bakhmut, relying on their base in the city of Donetsk, 100 kilometers, 62 miles away. Russian forces have repeatedly tried to take Bakhmut, which is on the main road to the cities of Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, both in the Donetsk region. Although Ukrainian forces have reclaimed thousands of square kilometers of land in their recent counteroffensives in the east and south, officials say progress is likely to slow once Kyiv forces encounter more determined Russian resistance. In Ukraine's Kharkiv region, Russia said it destroyed 3 US-made howitzers and a crossing point on the Oskil River set up by Ukrainian forces to move reserves and ammunition. The river flows south into the Seversky Donets, which meanders through the Donbass region of eastern Ukraine. Meanwhile, despite the victorious Wagner group, it was suspected to be disposable infantry from a Russian raid in eastern Ukraine. But Ukrainian military intelligence documents obtained by CNN show how effective they were around the town of Bakhmut and how difficult they were to counter. The Ukrainian report said Wagner deployed his troops in mobile groups of a dozen or fewer, using rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs, and exploiting real-time drone intelligence, which the report described as key elements